Hey everyone, it's Sean. Welcome to your third Autodesk Fusion 360 tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're just going to do another practice CAD part. I've got another practice model here, and I'd just like to mention that from the CAD we had from our last tutorial, you can see that the way we went about this was actually kind of intensive, more intensive than it really needed to be. You can see that as we moved through this, we made each individual thing. But by the end of it, this part is actually symmetric. And what we could have actually done was modeled half of it and then simply created the other section by mirroring the other half. And this is something that you can actually do in a lot of your parts that are symmetric. So let me show you how you can actually do this with a symmetric part like this. Okay, so just like we did before, we are in our, let's go ahead and actually save this part file. Practice number 1. And you can see it automatically got put in here. I'm just going to create a new design. And I'm going to get rid of this for now. And let's just right off the bat get started. Now, if we take the approach that we're about to take, we are going to have to split this model into two based on the axis of symmetry. Okay, so based on the axis of symmetry, in our case, the axis of symmetry is about this line right here, but also could be about this line here. You can pick either one. In my case, I'm just going to go with this axis of symmetry. So I'm going to design, create our first sketch on, we are going to start out with, I'm going to say this sketch right here, and we're actually going to do this face first. Okay, so in this first face, what we do, go ahead and lay down this rectangular prism right there, and that's going to be, our length of this part is 175, and the actual height of it is specified to be 6 based on right here. Say 6. I'm going to go ahead and enter, and now we're going to go ahead and create this circular portion. Okay, so from the center point, remember, we don't actually need some of these lines here, so I'm just going to use some construction lines. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the center point, and I'm going to need to go up by a certain amount. In our case, the amount we need to go up by is specified this line. So we can see this line right here says from the bottom of this line to here is 28, which means I need to make a construction line of 28, and that goes to the center of this circle here. Okay, we can get out of the construction line, create our first circle. This is going to be a width 25 in diameter. Okay, you can see that the next circle is 50 in diameter. So I'm going to create another circle, and this time I'm going to make it 50, just like that. Okay, so we have our two lines here. Now, actually creating this here, you can see that it's supposed to go out by 32 and then meets with this circle. Okay, from here it does not really specify how much or when it intersects with this point. Not seeing anything, so we can go ahead and I'll go ahead and pick a point on here, and we'll match it with the other side. So I'm going to first create our construction line here. I'm going to hit 32, enter. Okay, so we have 32 out here. I'm going to click from here to a point on here. So I'm going to go ahead, get out of the construction, select this point, and then we're going to follow that exact point out here. We also need to indicate where the 32 is on this side. 32, enter, and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to follow this line here, get out of the construction, click here. Great. Okay, so we have pretty much what this face looks like so far. The only thing we do not have is this little rounded edge portion. Okay, to create that, what we need to do is simply hit the fillet tool, click on this line, and then you can see the radius specified here is 9 millimeters. To make that 9, we're also going to need to specify this as well. Both are 9. Hit enter. Okay, so we have everything we need here. There are some lines that we can actually get rid of because they don't actually give us anything. So I'm going to go ahead and use the trim tool here, and we're going to get rid of some of these lines we're not using. Okay, and you can see that when I did that, I did lose some constraints here, but in our case, those are not any constraints that we will need. So I'm just going to hit finish sketch. I got a weird view right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and do an extrusion. And you can see that we are kind of missing some stuff. Okay, so you selected that, and you can see that this part gets extruded out by 9 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and hit 9, negative 9. Okay, that gets us this portion. You hit OK. Now, one thing that this feature has is this part of the circle is also extruded outwards. In our case, they extruded out by 12 minus 9. Okay, so by 3 millimeters. So you can see that that sketch disappeared whenever we actually did the extrude. This happens to all sketches once you provide a 3D feature on it. So just go ahead and click the I button to bring it back up. And then we're going to extrude. I'm going to click on this and bring it out by 3. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now we don't need the sketch anymore. So I'm going to go back in here and hit the toggle. Okay, so we're almost there. The last thing we need to do is this portion. So you can see that this got extruded out by, so you can see from this point to this point is 32, which means half of that is 16. Okay, so we need to extrude this out by 16. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch from here to here. I'm just going to make a simple rectangle. Okay, that goes from there to there, and then hit finish sketch. Okay, and we're going to extrude this out by our 32 divided by 2. And there we go. Okay, so we've got that. Now we just need to make these 2 holes, and then we will have 1/2 of what we need. Okay, so you can see from this edge to here. Okay, and you can see that this is also 25 millimeters outwards. So I'm going to use a construction line from here to here. I'm going to say 25. Okay, and you can see that that is exactly the midpoint, so I'm not even going to put the 25. Okay, and then it needs to be out by 16. Okay, so I got 16 right here, and I can see the diameter of this hole. I'm going to get rid of the construction line. You can see that this is supposed to be 12. Great. Okay, so what I could do is do the exact same thing on the other side. But the whole point of this is to show you that you can mirror a bunch of different things. What I'm going to go ahead and do is actually create this midpoint line about right there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is use create, hit mirror, select the objects I would like to mirror, and then click on the line I want to mirror across. And you can see that whatever I want gets mirrored across the corresponding line, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, and now you can see there are 2 different circles here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish, and hit enter, and then we're going to go to the extrude, and I'm just going to extrude down the portions I want to get rid of. And instead of using distance, I'm going to use toObject. Okay, that cuts that out. Great. So what we are left with is half of the object we wanted. Okay, the last thing to do is our final mirror to get this part. Okay, the thing we need to do is, in order to mirror this whole portion, we need a plane. that is the point it will get reflected across. Okay, currently there is no plane that will allow us to do that. So if we look at our origin and I undo this, you can see that these are the only planes I have access to. And in reality, the plane I need is this plane right here, which is the mid plane. Okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to use the offset plane. I'm just going to click on that plane and give it no offset. Okay, so now you can see I have access to this plane now. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of everything except that construction I wanted. Okay, so I have my mid plane. I'm just going to hit under create. I'm going to go to mirror. And it's going to ask me, what do you want to mirror? And I am going to go ahead and select all the portions I would like to mirror, and then click on the mirror plane that I want, and then hit OK. And you can see what's left is the part that we want. Okay, so I have actually missed one of the features, which was this hole. Okay, so what I can do is go back, and let me just go ahead and actually right click on this. I can hit edit my feature, and one of the features I forgot to add was this extrusion right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and deselect everything, select my extrusion, select this extrusion. Okay, let's see here. Just go ahead and delete this and start over. I'm going to hit mirror. Is that okay? I'm going to click this. I'm going to hit OK. And bam, you can see we now have the two parts that we want. Okay? And that is one way we can actually create our parts if we need to. Okay? Pretty handy tool. Mirroring. Fantastic. Okay? Alright, so that pretty much ends this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.